part, but I'm gonna make some chocolate peanut butter chip cookies because that sounds delicious. Right now I'm creaming 112 grams of butter and 175 grams of brown sugar. And once that's done, I'll continue. After a minute or two of creaming my butter with my sugar, it was time to add in about 120 grams of discard, 1 egg, and vanilla, of course, as always, was measured with my heart. Maybe one day I'll actually measure it and be consistent, but that day is not today, nor will it be tomorrow. This is when I do a majority of my mixing. You need to do it for several minutes because that is when it gets the most creamy. If you want to have nice smooth cookies, you need to make sure that you incorporate those ingredients well. Since it does need to blend for so long, I go ahead and take this opportunity to get my dry ingredients ready. I have 125 grams of all-purpose flour, about 40 grams of cocoa powder, and then I add in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'll mix those up and then add that into my wet ingredients. I do 2 go-rounds just so nothing gets too airborne. The dry ingredients will be barely incorporated with the mixer because I don't want the cookies to be tough, so we don't want to overmix this part. And I'm going to take all that I can from the mixer and then scrape down my sides so that I can make sure all of those dry ingredients have incorporated the whole way through. Everything is nice and smooth and creamy, and it's time to add in some peanut butter chips and just a few chocolate chips because, why not? It's fine. I'll mix those into the batter with my spatula just to get them spread pretty evenly throughout instead of being all clumped up together. When that's done, it looks super duper amazing, but it is very, very soft. So it needs to be refrigerated for at least an hour or up to 2 or 3 days. I did it overnight because life was very, very busy. The next day, my dough is nice and chilled and it gets really hard. So I actually let it sit out for a little while before I tried to scoop it so I would not break my scooper. I used a medium-sized scoop and I got my dough ball out, and then I decided to put a little mini Reese cup in the middle, which was an excellent choice. 10 out of 10 recommend. Making sure it's completely enclosed in the middle of the cookie. At that point, it was time to put them in a 350-degree oven. Bake for 12 to 14 minutes, and I like to rotate my tray about 8 minutes through just to make sure everything cooks evenly. Then, of course, time for a taste test. So delicious. It is soft and crunchy and just perfect. I think it's my favorite cookie.